Welcome back, everyone, and welcome and good afternoon. Eric Almond here, along with Keely Griffith, and we're welcoming you to the afternoon session here at the FAA's UAS Symposium, episode 4, the remotely piloted edition. So we just came out of 3 sessions: superheroes get their props, drones and humanitarian operations, community engagement practices from around the globe, and the greener future of aviation, environmental review, and noise certification. Some great content. If you happened to miss any of those, keep in mind that all of that content is available on demand. Now, before we get to our introduction for our next session, we actually have a special guest joining us. We've got Mr. Cory Hickman with us. Cory, let's get right into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We're dying to know a little bit more about Cory Hickman.
All right. Hi. So like they said, my name is Cory Hickman. My age is I'm 18 years old, and I'm currently a college student at UC, University of Cincinnati. I'm an Eagle Scout. I eagled out of my local troop here in Westchester, Ohio, Troop 990. And I am also the founder, owner, and the CEO of Horizon Aerial Service.
No kidding.
I wanted to be a business owner at 18, but it didn't work out. So, all right, so let's start there. So, Cory, tell us a little bit about Horizon Aerial Service. What does your company do?
So basically, Horizon Aerial Service is a drone photography company. We take care of primarily real estate. So if you're a realtor, or if you're an inspector, or if you're anywhere in the area of buying, owning, renting a home, or if you own your own home, we can do photography, videography on that home, make you feel at home, or we can put it up on the MLS, which is the multiple listing service to help realtors sell that home. We also can take care of insurance purposes. So if you've got property that has lots of trees on it, and you don't only want, I actually had this client not too long ago, you don't only want to hold that photography to have fun with it, but you also want to say, in case that tree falls on your house, you have insurance purposes, basically saying this tree wasn't like this at the time of the photo was taken. So that's kind of the primary ins and outs of what we do.
Did you think that when you were getting involved in this whole drone business that you would learn about like insurance and real estate? I mean, was that even on the forefront of your mind?
Well, real estate, it was on the forefront because that's kind of the primary of what I wanted. Insurance, not so much. Inspections, not so much. It was a lot that I actually got myself into, and I actually quite enjoyed it. That I actually got myself into it. It's a good experience.
It's interesting how you get involved in one thing and then it can grow into something else, right?
Yeah. It takes its own lead. It's great.
So I'm told you have a fun story that's behind your interest in aviation. Do you mind sharing that with us?
Yeah. So the general kind of how I got myself involved in aviation was when I was really young. I was in the 4th grade, elementary school. And I was terrified of heights. So whenever me and my family or friends, we went off to Kings Island or some grand amusement park, I wouldn't get on anything that went higher than 4 feet off the ground. So my dad kind of got sick of it, and he said, we're going to break you of this fear. And, there's only one way that I know how to do it. So we went to Moraine Airport, just a little north of us. And he said, basically, he talked to one of the flight schools. He says, my son here, he's terrified of heights. And I want to take him on his introductory flight in one of your trainer aircrafts. And we set that up, and we actually got into the aircraft. And, me being terrified, knowing exactly what's going to happen. We're going to be 3,000 feet in the air. I had my eyes shut closed the entire way, all the way up until we were in cruise flight. And at that point, I opened my eyes and I got the view of the horizon and how everything looked, and I fell in love with it. So from that point on, I just kind of immersed myself, and I decided right then and there I wanted to be a pilot.
I loved that you used the phrase, you opened your eyes. Your eyes were open to this new area of passion and possibilities.
It was great.
I got to tell you, I thought that story was going in a different direction, Keely. Cory, I thought you were going to say to get over the fear of heights, your dad hooked you up on a tandem skydiving lesson.
Oh no, I still haven't gone skydiving myself yet. That one was like, yeah, no way. I've been kind of in that area, and until recently, I'm just like, I'm getting to be a pilot now. I think it's kind of cool. It'd be cool to skydive.
Well, stay in a perfectly good working airplane for a little bit longer, I think.
Yeah.
So is it true that you received your Part 107 license certificate while you were in high school? And how did you go about doing that?
Yeah, so the story kind of starts there where I went to Butler Tech. When I got into my junior year of high school, I went to Butler Tech. It's basically a technical, like they have a high school program mix where you can kind of choose what career path you want to do. They have multiple different ones, but this was their first year for their aviation path. So I decided to jump into it, and the first semester was all about drones. How to fly, crash, operate, and also the regulations. And by the beginning of the second semester, I had gotten my Part 107 licensing, remote pilot. And from there, I just kind of decided to take it off, and no pun intended there, but I took off and had a blast, and that's where the story kind of began with that.
And this is why we invest in STEM in schools and exposure.
Exactly right, Keely. Exactly right. I mean, this is case in point, Cory, of why it's important to sort of build this aviation workforce of the future and bring it to, middle school, high school, college level students, because there are going to be a lot of career opportunities, in this field, not only, for entrepreneurs like yourselves, but for maintenance and programming technicians, and the list just goes on and on. But listen, let's talk a little bit more about you being an Eagle Scout. So you've got your Part 107, you own your own business, you're an Eagle Scout. How has that all helped you?
Where scouting begins is it actually had created a bigger network for me. So being an Eagle Scout, you have a little bit of a reputation. A lot of people know the name Eagle Scout from the BSA, and a lot of people, when they think Eagle Scout, they think, wow, that's a fantastic character. He must have great character, great qualities about him. So that's kind of where I start. And then the network of, being an Eagle Scout, being involved in all sorts of different programs like the Aviation Explorers, the Boy Scouts of America. And I've met all sorts of different people, and it's helped me not only gain a client basis, but also spread my, not just my client basis, but also my relationship basis with other people into broader fields and in areas where I would not have been able to access otherwise.
All right.
Fascinating.
So your enthusiasm, obviously, for learning, for business, and for aviation are pretty clear, but why drones?
Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, I mean, you went up in that plane, but why did you go drones? Good question.
So with drones, so aviation within itself is extremely expensive. To get a private pilot's license is probably estimated in the area of $5,000 to $6,000. And that's just, the private alone, not including, your instrument, your commercial, and everything beyond that to get paid for your aviation services. But for drones, all you really needed was the Part 107. And that was very affordable and tangible to me at only 17 years old. So I went for it, and I was very passionate about aviation at the time and still am. So I just kind of went for it, and after attaining it, I kind of went full go with it, and now here I am.
This is a really good point that we try to bring out whenever possible. And Cory, you are living proof of it, that the drone industry, getting started in the drone industry or doing your own thing in it, it's really it's easy to do. The cost, or what we say, the barriers for entry, are low, and you are case in point in that. And I just want to thank you very much for coming and joining us and sharing a little bit of your insight and experiences, sharing your story. It's truly inspirational.
Thank you.
Keely, I think over to you to introduce what's up next, please.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks again, Cory. So before I introduce the upcoming keynote, I wanted to remind everyone that this afternoon, we have the final touchdown remotely piloted landing with Jay and Brian. That's going to take place at 3:50 p.m. So make sure that you stick around for that. Coming up next, and it's actually starting right now, so I'm going to quickly introduce, we have a keynote on optimization of critical infrastructure operations. So with the recent approval for BNSF Railway to remotely operate dock-based drones across a significant portion of its network, it creates a great opportunity to discuss the impact of using sUAS to conduct operations that are safer, cleaner, and more efficient. So you can join BNSF's Director and RPA of Drone Program and Machine Vision Services, Todd Gretz, and Adam Bree, who is the CDO and co-founder at Skydio, for a fireside chat discussing these benefits as well as their journey to attaining approval. So jump on over to that session and we will see you back here for a break at 2:45.